Why do we sit here being silent, watching our leaders turn into tyrants? Have they forgotten which side they're fighting for? Checks and balances set aside and rule of laws, youths and ours, and Constitution openly ignored. Man, I'm not okay. Think we are being played. Is it time for right and left to join a greater cause? Man, I'm not okay. The rich claim to be victimized just to attack the marginalized. This 1% really worth more than all the sick and poor. Always preaching about fellowship while planning their dictatorship. Now we've seen how all of this plays out before. Man, I'm not okay. Think we are being played. Time for you and I to join our country's call. Man, I'm not okay. Ever wonder all the mystery, why they whitewash our history, keep dividing is their plan? All in all, such a scam. Algorithm very sly, only used to spread the lies. Politicians know well, hate is simple to upsell. Man, I'm not okay. Think we are being played. Time for you and I to join our country's call.
We are not okay. America is not okay, and we all know that. Former Congressman Joe Walsh, this is The Social Contract with Joe Walsh. Let's figure out how to get okay together. Hey, it's Friday. My God, thank God it's Friday. The sun is coming up. It's right in front of me. Hope you all have had a pretty good week. I need Friday. I need the weekend coming up. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to my conversation here in a moment with a guy we had on a few months ago talking about his soon-to-be released documentary, The Narcissist Playbook. Well, it's been released for rental worldwide today, The Narcissist Playbook, and I am so doggone excited to chat with right now the director-producer of this amazingly important documentary, Mark Vicente. Mark, welcome, my brother.
Thanks for having me back, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's so good to be with you, because when I had you on a few months ago talking about this documentary to be out, I could not, Mark, stop thinking about it. And so many of my listeners kept asking me questions about it. I have no doubt they're gonna watch it now that it's been released. But technically, it was released yesterday. Tell us about it.
Yeah, actually, July 29th, it's released worldwide, for rental. We had a big launch weekend, but people anywhere now can go onto our website, which you guys will give them, I'm sure.
Right there.
And go and rent it. And, the only thing we ask people is don't give away the spoiler, no spoiler alerts, because it's an experience, to go through and watch the film, because there's this twist and everything. And we want people to have that experience, sort of Sixth Sense-ish kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's being very well received, which is amazing.
Well, I'm sure it is, because I describe it as an amazing experience, but an amazingly important film. The link, everybody, as you're listening to us, Mark and I, the link to rent it is right there, right below me, the narcissistplaybook.uscreen.io. It's all right there. Mark, for anyone tuning in right now for the first time and hearing about the documentary that is out now, describe it for them.
Yeah, basically it's about narcissism and narcissistic abuse. And, we look at the spectrum of narcissism, but we're paying particular attention to malignant narcissists. So we interview survivors, we interview clinicians, but what we also do that's so unique is we interview 4 self-confessed narcissists, all the way from sort of mid-range up to narcissistic psychopath. And what's interesting, and I suppose chilling, is that they just basically talk about how they think, what they feel, what they don't feel, what they do to people, why they do it to people, with complete candor, which most people don't have access to those kinds of conversations.
But back up a moment. So you sat down with 4 actual malignant narcissists, and they were willing to sit down with you and talk about what they've done.
It's the weirdest thing, isn't it? It just
Yeah.
sounds weird. Yeah. These are people that over the years we found like online. They're online. There are self-confessed and now more and more that will just, that have a massive platform, some of them, that just talk about their particular ailment, which is funny because is it an ailment? Yes. NPD is, but
Yeah.
they're generally not doing too badly. It's the people around them that are struggling, because for every malignant narcissist, there's at least 10 people whose lives are being very badly affected. And then if you upscale that to like CEOs, leaders, presidents, prime ministers, now you're talking about millions of people are being affected by their stupidity.
But that's fascinating what you just said. You said they're generally doing well, the narcissists themselves.
Yeah, because most narcissists, I'm thinking of even the malignant ones, they're doing great. They're awesome. It's the rest of sure.
Would you, and again, not to get political, we'd classify him somewhere on the spectrum, but would he be aware of what he is?
That's such a good question. So the way I see it, I'm not a particularly partisan person, but I would say like, okay, so he's like grandiose, probably grandiose narcissist. I don't think he cares what he is, because he's effective in his own mind.
And are most narcissists like that, Mark? They generally don't care what they are.
I don't know, to be honest. And also there's different kinds. You have the grandiose. I've seen other political leaders that are very covert. They say all the right words, they dress very well. They're very, very covert or vulnerable. I don't know the answer to that. I wonder.
I'm just so excited, guys. The Narcissist Playbook is out. I've been talking about this now for a few months. It's out. You can rent it. The website is right there. The link is right there. You've got to check this film out. Mark, what surprised you most when you in the making of this?
What surprised me the most? Honestly, some of it was how much damage they cause. So in talking to the victims of these people, it's astounding how destabilized they are, how their reality has been turned upside down. That was, I knew that because the same thing happened to me, escaped a cult, dealt with something like that. But just the profound damage that was done to people. And the other thing that was surprising is many of them described a kind of emptiness that they have inside, which is weird because like if you have a lot of feelings and stuff, you're like, how does that make sense? And they would describe like there's nothing in there. And there was one particular person I was like, well, what about like the inner child? Is there an inner child in there? And and this is not in the film, but they said, yeah, that inner child is dead. That died a long time ago. So they have this emptiness inside, which kind of makes sense because they desperately need attention. They desperately need fuel. There's never enough because perhaps of this emptiness. That was interesting to me because I always assumed, no, there must be something in there. They must be able to introspect, but I don't know that they can actually emotionally introspect.
The people impacted by these narcissists, the folks that you spoke with, that impact can last forever.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I think it takes a certain amount of time. So I got out of a cult, right? And I was always told, look, it takes about 5 years to find some kind of normalcy. But I've met people that came out of narcissistic abusive relationships that decades later, they're still a mess. Now, sometimes it's because they haven't got therapy or they haven't like been able to understand what goes on.
Yeah.
People that get out of these things become obsessive about studying it. Part of the reason we made this film is because all of us filmmakers that made it, like we've all been impacted. So this was in some ways kind of weird therapy. And for me, it was kind of cool because I never got closure from my cult leader. He never admitted anything in court. So,
and do me a favor. I know I apologize if you're tired of this, but for people just tuning in and confronting you for the first time, give us your 30-second history.
Yeah, so I was like a seeker most of my life, joined a bunch of organizations, and then in 2005 joined an organization called Nixium, which now many of you know about, was in there for like 12 years. And then in 2017 realized like, oh shit, stuff's really, really bad.
Yeah.
And a bunch of us went to law enforcement at first, didn't get anywhere, went to the New York Times. They blew the story up. Then law enforcement moved in. And in about a 2-year period, a bunch of people were arrested and our massive federal trial. And our cult leader now is in prison for 120 years. He served 5 years of his 120-year sentence. He's in Arizona. What a shame.
What a shame. When you look at yourself, if I said, Mark Vicente, are you fully recovered from what you went through? How would you answer that?
I don't think I am fully recovered. And I think, no, because there's always echoes, you know, these people work their way into your psyche. I'm a lot better. Like I can talk about stuff, but I notice sometimes something will happen, something minor will happen. It's really unimportant. And suddenly I'll get freaked out about that thing. Like, what is going on? Like the big things are fine, but some little stupid thing. And I'm like, what is going on? And I think it's echoes, you know, of some of the stuff that goes on because you get so destabilized. It's like narcissistic abuse, because cult abuse is narcissistic abuse.
Yes.
It's like they do something to your psyche, to your soul. They destabilize you so much that you can't trust your own thoughts. You can't trust your own morality. So it takes a while to come back from that, you know?
This is the last political question I'll ask, I promise. I often think, Mark, of some of my former Republican colleagues, many of whom have, I always say, sold their soul to him, but whatever. They're living with some of this, aren't they?
I think so. Like I look at, and again, this is not just, you know, the Trumps. I mean, I've seen this in many administrations. I watch the way people kiss ass around the leader.
Politicians in general, leaders.
Yeah, right. And I'm like, you guys are like in a cult. You're so terrified to say anything. Now, maybe because there's consequences. Maybe if you say something, you lose your job, you lose your money, you lose your everything. But like the amount of ass kissing I see go on, I'm thinking to myself, like at some point, do they go like, oh my God, I'm so ashamed. Like I didn't realize I was doing that. What was I thinking? And hopefully go in and examine your own mind and your own emotions to see why you became such a flying monkey with the leader.
What, Mark, the average person out there, though, watching this film, we encounter narcissists in every walk of life, right? We're married to them. We work with them. We're neighbors to them.
Yeah. We are. And that's the thing. The thing is, most of the time we don't know what they are because some of them are so damn charming. Not the vulnerable ones. The vulnerable ones are like whiny and like, woe is me. And nobody's paying attention to me and nobody realizes how amazing I are. And they're just a downer to be around. But some of the more grandiose ones and some of the smoother ones, they're fun. They're fun. They're so much fun. So you don't know what you're looking at. You know, once you get more deeply embroiled, you know, fun turns into something else. So we don't tend to recognize like how many we're actually, you know, interacting with until you don't do something they want. And then they get a narcissistic injury and now they want to destroy you. And then you're like, what just happened? It's very confusing.
And in this film, The Narcissist Playbook, you've got some of these stories.
We do. I mean, we have, you know, so we have some interesting sort of survivors. You know, Evan Rachel Wood is one of the people. Barry Sonnenfeld, the director, and he talks about his parents. We have a male survivor who dealt with a female narcissist, which is, I think, very important because a lot of people think, oh, it's just the men.
Right.
It's not just the men.
Right.
It just presents differently. And then we have a lot of really cool clinicians. Now, what's interesting is many of the clinicians that are in this film have also got their own stories. They may not have wanted to share them, but I know every single one of them has their own stories. Yeah, it's powerful stuff. I mean, I think in the end, I think survivors will feel validated by watching the film because we made it for them. We made it to help them understand what they went through and also give them a way to explain to other people, this is the shit I went through. You need to go see the film. You'll understand, you know, what I've been through.
Well, expand on that, Mark. That's what I wanted to ask you. I don't know that I did ask you this the first time we sat down. What was your purpose in making this film?
I think the first purpose, so in 2017, when I began to wake up from being in a cult and my wife puts a bunch of articles in front of me about narcissism, and like it finally dawns on me, like, holy shit, this guy's a narcissist, like way worse than a narcissist.
Yeah.
I was so fascinated that I didn't understand the pathology, because he even trained us about psychopathy inside the cult.
Wow.
We just never understood. Oh, you're talking about yourself. So I became obsessed with understanding what it was. And one of the people I actually started reading was this guy, H.G. Tudor, who's in our film. Nobody knows who he is, but his stuff is really fascinating. I tried trying to understand who my cult leader might be. But then the other thing that occurred to me is, how did I not see it? Like, I'm vaguely moderately intelligent, right?
Yeah.
How did I not see it? Like, how did I fall for it? How did I become so effing brainwashed? And I wanted to, that my impulse at first was like, and my wife was the one that said, you should make this film. And then I reached out to my producers and said, hey, let's make this film. But one of the things I wanted people to have people avoid is this kind of pain. And I thought, if we can map out the playbook and show people how it works, maybe they can avoid these kinds of situations. I think that was the initial impulse.
Okay. Did that impulse change at all? Or is that now, when looking back, you've made it, it's out, it's released as of yesterday?
No, I think it's still true. I think what happened though is the narcissists probably became more central to the story.
Okay.
And one of the reasons I think it was important to have them is because a lot of people have this Pollyanna view of other human beings, you know, that like malignant personalities can just be loved back into health. They can't. There are some people that are born this way, you know, and I think people, let's just take politics. People look at their politicians and go like, oh, I just wish they would do the right thing.
Yeah.
You can keep wishing they're going to do the right thing. They're not built to do the right thing. They're built to do their thing. And you're just like cannon fodder for their thing.
So, Mark, like then for all of us, for society at large, what's the takeaway here? That wake up, we've got malignant narcissists in major corporate boardrooms and in political offices and in schools and in
So that's kind of what I was thinking. I sent you that clip of Richard
do you mind
Brannon.
if we
let's run that, because I'd love to just talk about that.
Keith, let's play that real quick right now. Thank you.
We're turning this into a nightmare. Why? I believe that this reality is broken by trauma. We don't really have problems here. We have everything we need to live peacefully, but we choose to act like fucking assholes. We're doing it to ourselves. There's no problem here. It's the Garden of Eden. People we used to ignore as lunatics, we now put center stage and we let them tell the collective what to do. It's insane. We're letting the craziest, most aggressive, most malignant people in the asylum now set the standards of our culture.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's now, again, to a layman like me, Mark, that's scary shit. We've emptied out the worst people in our asylums are running the world. That's what I just heard.
Yeah, totally. But I think the key thing is you know, I keep thinking about like these people need adoration. They need fuel. They need awe.
Yeah.
Who is supplying it? We are. And our anger is supplying it. You know, like I think we also have to be very careful. You've been in the business a long time.
Yeah.
There's all this stuff going on from different parties trying to like get people inflamed and get them to hate the other. And like everybody hates everybody. We're fueling this horrible machine and all this triangulation that's going on. I just keep wondering, like, what if we didn't do that? You know, there's this expression that they talk about called gray rocking. When you're dealing with a narcissist, if the more upset you get, the more alive they feel because they've got you.
Wow.
It doesn't matter what the emotion is. If you hate
We're fueling them, Mark. We're fueling them.
We're putting the gas in. Gray rock is basically where you become boring to them. You know, you cut off the supply to them. I'm really interested in this idea that what if we didn't feed the machine, feed the pathology so much, like stop the praise, but also maybe stop the hatred. They love that too. I will tell you, I've seen politicians that do things and then the public hates them. They don't give a shit. I think they enjoy it because at least they're getting attention.
Okay, that's fascinating, Mark. And that's so true. And that I was like, people who watch this, I don't want them to walk away with a helpless, hopeless feeling.
No.
Things we, society, can do. And you nailed it. Don't feed them. Don't feed rage.
Yeah, but also like I think the first thing you have to do is acknowledge it's there. Like
Yeah.
this Pollyanna thing of like, oh no, it's all just goodness. Yeah, yeah, whatever. There's goodness and beautiful goodness. There's amazing goodness. There's beautiful people, and then there's some real shits.
Yep.
And the real shits are not changing. So like we have to be in reality and grow up and go like that exists, and then like what are we going to do about it? Just yelling at them, calling them names is not going to do it. We have to figure out how to take out power away.
Everybody, I'm going to keep pushing and promoting this film, this new documentary that is out as of yesterday. You can all rent it. The link is right there, The Narcissist Playbook. My world is politics, but just forget about politics. It's everything.
Yeah.
This is profoundly one of the most important films we all can watch right now and learn from. Mark Vicente is the director, producer of this thing. Mark, it's just amazing stuff. I'd love to have you back on down the road to continue to talk about this. Let's see how the film's doing. It's The Narcissist Playbook. The Narcissist Playbook, out as of yesterday. You can rent it worldwide. The link is right there, narcissistplaybook.uscreen.io. Mark, you're the best, brother. Thank you.
Thanks, my man. Really great talking to you.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks a lot. It's just amazing stuff. And I before I close today, and I'm going to close in a moment here, check out this documentary, The Narcissist Playbook. I naturally think of and fight against every day the malignant, off the charts malignant narcissist in the White House. This documentary explains Trump, explains everybody who is a narcissist. And we've all had narcissists in our lives. We all know victims of malignant narcissists. Check out the documentary. The link is right there. One final thought today before I let you go this week. I was thinking about this. John Cornyn, Texas senator, who is out there right now kind of holding up the Todd Blanche confirmation. Todd Blanche to be officially confirmed as the Attorney General. And big, bad, brave John Cornyn is holding it up because he's got some issues with the nomination. He's got some issues with Trump's IRS settlement and all the rest. And it got me thinking of talking about a cult. What's wrong with my former party in one damn sentence? So we got John Cornyn out there holding up the Todd Blanche nomination. Think about this. If John Cornyn had won that Republican primary runoff down in Texas at the end of May, if Cornyn had won that runoff instead of losing to Paxson, John Cornyn right now would be Todd Blanche's biggest fucking booster. John Cornyn would be leading the charge right now to demand that Todd Blanche is confirmed. Think about that. The only reason John Cornyn is in the neighborhood where he maybe can get a little whiff of some sort of courage is because he lost that primary runoff and he's not running again. He's going to retire from Washington. So all of a sudden he can do the right thing. And we've got people out there talking about Cornyn and Tom Tillis, North Carolina. Isn't it great? They're doing the right thing. Give them some applause. Fuck no, don't give them any applause. Don't give them any applause. They're all cowards because we know the truth about Cornyn. If Cornyn were up for re-election, man, he'd be boosting. He'd be leading the charge for Todd Blanche. It's everything wrong generally with our politics. But like everything, it's most pronounced in the cult that my former political party has become. John Cornyn deserves zero applause. Tom Tillis deserves zero applause. And let's be real, they will probably end up, if there is a vote for Todd Blanche, they'll probably end up voting for him anyways. So no praise for these two. They and their Republican colleagues in the United States Senate are all cowards. That's enough for this week. Thank you for listening, everybody. Two quickies before we go. My Substack, Social Contract with JoeWalsh.substack.com, Social Contract with JoeWalsh.substack.com. Help me help you. Help me help the world. Think about becoming a subscriber to my Substack. Helps me keep me out there. Thanks. And my email, if you want to shoot me a line about anything, the social contract with joewalsh@gmail.com. All one word. The social contract with joewalsh@gmail.com. Thanks all. Have a great weekend. Be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, follow, and share The Social Contract with Joe Walsh on Apple, Spotify. Plus, don't forget to subscribe to The Social Contract on Substack. This has been The Social Contract with Joe Walsh.